In this example, we have two questions where we want to find the value of theta given two trig values, both of them expressed as reciprocal values. Let's start with the first one here. So I have find theta such that cosecant theta is 4.4454. Okay, well, again, there's no inverse function for cosecant theta. If I pull up my calculator, you bring it to the side here, pull it over, and go over to my trig functions, you'll see that where the sine is and where the right below it is sine inverse. Where the cos is, right below it is cos inverse. Where the tangent is, right below it is tan inverse. There's no cosecant inverse to figure out what the value of theta is. So what we have to do is convert this first into an expression involving sine, because after all, cosecant is expressed in terms of sine. Well, let's begin. So I have cosecant, CSC, theta is equal to 1 over sine theta, which in this question will be 4.4454. Now I'm going to just take this part here. I don't need that cosecant anymore. I'm just going to work with this. I want theta in the numerator by itself. So I'm going to envision this as a fraction over 1. And just like I take the reciprocals to determine the reciprocal trig ratios, I'm just going to kind of undo that. And what I get is 1 over 4.4454. Remember, this is over 1, but I'm not writing it. And if I do this as a decimal now, let me plug it into my calculator. So I have 4.4454, and I do the reciprocal or the inverse there. I get 0.2249. Let me remove this part and maybe put it up here and just focus on this now, because now I can apply my reciprocal function, my inverse function, namely sine inverse, applied to 0.2249. Recall, the inverse is what brings you back to your domain. Okay, so if you think of the sine function as going from x to y, okay, sine inverse brings me back the other way, and that's what's going on here. Okay, now to find the value of the inverse, I'm going to 4.4454. I'm just going to reciprocate that or invert it, and now I'm going to press sine inverse, and I get a value of theta equals 13 degrees. So we're good. We have our value of theta. Now let's do the same for secant of 2. So secant theta, by definition, is 1 over cos theta, which in this case equals 2. And I'm just going to focus on this part here. So let's just take this to the side. Like before, I did the reciprocal of the fractions, so I now have cos theta equals 1 over 2, and therefore theta is going to be the cos inverse of 0.5, which gives me, let's enter this in over here, so 0.5 cos inverse, and I get a theta of 60 degrees. So there you have it, two values for theta in two different trig expressions.